Cedar Point is America's rock and roller coaster, and they are known for putting in some fantastic additions. They have one of the best roller coaster collections in the world, if not the best. It is an absolutely beautiful park, and they are constantly updating and expanding. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I would like to see there in the next 5 years, and also what I think they'll be adding. So it's a bit of a combination between what I would like to see and also what I think will actually happen. Now, one thing to note about Cedar Point is that they always do something every single year. And most of the time, they will have more than one thing going on. Lots of small, minor additions happen every single year. So when I go through talking about what I would like to see happen, I'm talking about the main thing, what I think will be the main focus of that year. So let's just kind of recap the last 5 years. 2013 saw the addition of Gatekeeper with the new front gate. The following year, we had the GEMINI Midway upgrades and then Rougarou. After that, we saw the addition of Valraven, and this year, 2017, is a Cedar Point Shores expansion. So we have seen a little bit of everything, but of course Cedar Point is very much roller coaster heavy. They love adding those things, and I think they will continue adding roller coasters even though every year people are like, Cedar Point is landlocked, they don't have any room for anymore, but they always find a way. So let's talk about their next few years. 2018, I think this is plain and simple. Everyone knows what's going down here. This is RMC Mean Streak. The coaster is currently under construction. They've made some great progress. So I think everyone knows that that will be opening in 2018. And when it opens, it will be totally awesome. Everyone will love it. It may just become the best coaster in the park. So let's move on to 2019. I think this is when we start getting a little tricky because you could go a few different routes. I've always said that Cedar Point needs a good dark ride, and I've always been one of those people to say you should put a TRIOTECH dark ride in the Coliseum. Yes, the Coliseum is currently being used as an arcade, and then the upper levels are being used for employee stuff. But if Cedar Point really wanted, they could turn that into a building to put a dark ride. Make it castle themed, give the building an exterior upgrade, completely gut the place to put in a dark ride on the inside. It's totally and completely possible. So I think that will be the main focus for 2019. But also I believe they'll spend that year prepping for their 2020 edition because 2020 is the park's 150th anniversary. This is a big deal. Cedar Point is super old, and 150 years is huge. So they're going to be doing something for their 150th anniversary. The question is what? I think we are looking at a roller coaster, but as for the type, I'm not sure. For a while, I thought they would have RMC Mean Streak be the big thing for their 150th anniversary. So I was a little surprised when they closed Mean Streak this early because I was expecting that they would close that so that it could open in 2020. So I think we're looking at a roller coaster that'll be ground up. And the thing is that Cedar Point already has so much, so you really have to look at what are they lacking. And I think you could go two ways with here. They are lacking a really good wooden roller coaster. So Cedar Fair could put in something like a Mystic Timbers, a really good GCI. And then people have always been saying that Cedar Point will be the first park to go over 500 feet. So if that were the case, could they be going with a 500-foot tall roller coaster for their 150th anniversary? I think it's possible if you did it right. Because, like we mentioned, Cedar Point is tight on space, so to do a 500-foot tall roller coaster, you would have to make it compact. And when I think of tall roller coasters that are compact, I think of the new Polar Coaster concept. Yes, that's kind of geared towards independent places, but I've always thought that it could work at Cedar Point if you did it right. So they could go with a 500-footer. As for where to put this roller coaster, whether it be like a Polar Coaster type thing or a GCI, I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually took out Snake River Falls and used the leftover land from Shoot the Rapids, what isn't occupied by the Frontier Fling, and combined that space with Snake River Falls to put in the new attraction there. That gives you a decent amount of space where they could put in a sizable roller coaster. So that's what I'm thinking will probably go down in 2020, but what I have heard specifically is that Cedar Point will be spending 2 years to celebrate their 150th anniversary. To my understanding, they'll be doing that in 2019 and 2020, so those are the additions that I think will be coming during those years, but both of those years will be spent celebrating this accomplishment. Moving on to 2021, and after you do something so huge like what will probably come in 2020, you're going to take a year off, so I imagine we'll probably see some new family rides. Maybe we'll see some improvements to like Kitty Kingdom or Planet Snoopy. But either way, I don't think 2021 will be a big year. And finally, we have 2022, and this is when I think we're going to be seeing a Cedar Point Shores expansion. That's their main focus for 2017, so 2022, yeah, it will have been a few years. So I think that's when you put in some nice big slide complexes, or I've always thought that Cedar Point would be one of those parks to add in a water coaster. I think that that is feasible. Again, they'd have to get creative with space, but I think they could do it. I think that would really just kind of cap everything all off and make Cedar Point Shores this really great water park. I mean, the upgrades for 2017 are going to make it good, but adding in a water coaster, yeah, that'll draw in some more attention. So that is my 5-year plan for Cedar Point. I think, of course, the big highlight is going to be when they're celebrating their 150th anniversary, but the years before it and after are still going to be great. Cedar Point is known for adding awesome attractions, keeping the park pretty and looking good, and really putting in something for everyone. So let me know about what you think of this. What do you want to see at Cedar Point in the next 5 years? Post all those thoughts in the comment section below, and of course, stay tuned for more 5-year plans here at Coaster Studios.